Hello, everyone. Long time no see. Today I'm going to be talking about something I don't normally talk about. I'm not sure if I'm going to commit to topics like this, but it's kind of been on my heart to speak about it. And I don't think that if I ever speak on pop culture issues in general, I don't think you'll catch me talking about them on the front end when everybody else is. I think you'll catch me talking about them when they're played out in the back end because I do want to host more complete discussions, and then I also want to have more insightful thoughts, and sometimes you need things to play out a little bit. Also, because I'm very spiritual, I need that time to really process it, to really read the energy of it, and to tackle the context of it. So the first thing I want to talk about is like why, because one of the things that comes up when you're having discussions about things like celebrities and things like that is like, this doesn't matter, like these people are stupid, like whatever. And true, but the energy of this year, 2026, is a very powerful year. It is the year of manifestation, it's the year of revelation, it's the year of a lot of things. And so what is happening is a context of a broader issue. It's not the issue itself, it is sometimes it's the effect of what happens because something is happening, or what comes up, or who's saying what, and what all of it is what is the effect of what's being had, and then also what is the reflection of the population. And so I hope to have a educated discussion. Educated as in energetically complete. And I would, for a long time, I did not believe in censoring comments, but the vibration of people in general has gotten kind of low. Now there we talk about splitting the timelines, and like people are really high, but then there's like the lows have gotten lower. And so I'm I don't know, maybe weigh in on what is your opinion on this, because sometimes the comments, I don't want to appear or do things because you're saying something I don't like that's not the environment I'm creating, that's not what I stand for. But at a certain point, when you're building community, like I can't have people being attacked. I can't have really, really silly, stupid comments that are just like really just attacking people, and not constructively doesn't mean, again, saying what somebody wants or even saying it nicely. It's like, if you're bringing a conclusion, like what you're saying is really stupid, right? Like, then when people say that, who are well read, well thought, well understood, it comes across differently than just like, well, you're a fucking idiot. And it's like, well, okay. Or just attacking something completely different. Or again, you can tell that like sometimes a child wrote it, and you're like, that this is not a child's channel. Not that I do anything nefarious, but I don't know. So I guess leave your thoughts about that, because I'm still kind of navigating how to do this, just because I know that these things, kind of videos, go to broader people, and then it also goes to people on varying intellectual levels. So there's that. But I want to talk about this in the broader context of things, and I hope that I can bring this justice, because one of the things when observing this, which this situation with, there's a song with this girl, Young Miami, like it's a really stupid song. It's called Spin That. And this kind of blew up because Arie, one of my favorites, had kind of commented on that, and it got really, really negative backlash. And I saw so many videos, but I felt like they were missing the mark a little bit, or missing a perspective. So I hope to bring this perspective. And also, if you're watching at a later time than this, sometimes I go back and watch my videos. I've been doing YouTube for a long time, different channels, but a long time. And so sometimes I'll talk about something like, what the hell was going on? So like past Farron or past anybody, what is happening is Young Miami released a song, Spin That. It's a really, really silly song. Like not silly isn't good, like stupid. Like it's like about scammers and that, like all this other stuff, and glorifying it. And Arie, an artist, most known for I Am Not My Hair, but she, a lot of positive, a lot of spiritual stuff, a lot of, just a lot of good stuff that she's done. Commented on it very rationally, I thought. Like it wasn't anything ridiculous. And then, everything kind of blew up. And I want to kind of split my thoughts up, and hopefully I can organize them. One, it is true, this argument is nothing new. For generations, there have been music and entertainment and things that have kind of been pushing the envelope further and further and further and further away. So this is not a new argument, but one of the things that we have to get good at as a population is communicating thoroughly what we mean. So when I see comments or videos going, well, this is not new, and they leave it like that. No, you have to complete the thought. You don't have to, but I mean, it's best to complete the thought. What do you mean by that, right? Like, what are you trying to communicate when you're saying this is not a new argument? Because sometimes it feels like, so just shut up. And like, that's never going to work. And that's why people respond so negatively to you. So from my understanding, this is not a new argument. So stop talking about it, because every generation kind of feels that way. This is not necessarily the case in this case, as you heard most people say. This is overtly causing, I don't say damage, but just overtly, I mean, if you look up the lyrics, it's just, it's insane. And it's also really dumb. Now, over the years, I've seen the dumbing down of music, the dumbing down of entertainment, the dumbing down of books. That is a very real thing. The words are dumbed down, the pages are dumbed down, the ideas are dumbed down. I could literally point at which point in the book like something is going to happen, and it does happen. And in general, with these videos, it's the same thing. Like, people are just regurgitating the same receipts, the same ideas, the same format. It's strange. And for a while, I just kind of didn't say anything about it, because like my thing is like, what productive thing can I say about that would bring value or bring change or something, besides being like, y'all are dumb. And that, again, that is, I actually don't feel that way, because I try to see people as they are, and I'm like, okay, I see where you're at, and this makes sense. And me commenting about this and coming at you negatively will not benefit you in this time. But now is the time to speak. And it's very interesting this year, like a lot of things coming up where you probably will see me speak on more things that I don't speak on. And the reality is, for a long time, this shit has been dubbed down, and we know this is on purpose. Like, let's understand that. But the other part is, yes, it is true that for generations things have happened, and things will continue to evolve. And then usually there's a reset, right, where they go all the way back. It goes push, 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 and then like something resets to where you're all the way back to square one, and then the next generation say the same thing, and they're like, we've never had this before. And it's like, dude, this has been happening for thousands of years. You just forgot, or you weren't around, or whatever. But it's not concern. It's just like, this is a little different. This is a little different, and it's mainly a little different, not because of the song itself, but because of the response to someone's positive criticism of it. And that's kind of what I'm focused on. What I noticed in the Black community, so if you did not know, one of the responses that blew up was Trick Daddy responding to Arie about this and saying, you're just jealous because you don't look like her. And it sprung something in me. And I was like, because as a Black woman, as a Black girl, like, just the abuses you're exposed to, especially by your fathers and your grandfathers and the people that you know, how they really just fundamentally hate Black women or do not like Black women. And there is a pipeline of daughter to Black bitch. Like, there's just a clear pipeline for these men. And one of the things that I constantly heard from Black men, Black boys since I was a child, or from like mixed race girls, or from girls who are trying to fit into Black spaces, is that anytime anything came up, hey, I didn't like that you pushed me. Hey, why did you take that from me? Hey, they go, you're jealous. You're jealous. You want to look like me. You want to be, that's why you're hating on me. And then the Black boys, when trying to get the other girls, like, they're jealous of you. They want your hair. They want your this. They want your skin. And it's like, actually, I don't. Like, I legitimately don't. So it was so bizarre to me. I was so confused for so many years, like, of like, why would you, how did you, 1 + 1 is not equal 2, girl. Because especially because I was always a smart kid. Got what I needed, got what I wanted, because I was a super smart kid. It was easier to get, I don't want to say resources, but like, you can get access to scholarships and access to competitions, and that led you, do certain things. And so like, jealousy was not a part of my vocabulary, because the fundamental root of jealousy is you have something that I cannot achieve, or you're able to get something that I cannot achieve. And I was like, I'm getting everything I want, and my mind is so conscious because I feel like I can have a direct effect on my reality. So I don't ever think about, oh, you have loose curls, or you have this. I'm just like, oh, okay, you want to be friends? Like, no, okay, fine. But if yes, oh yeah, let's hang out, let's do whatever. Like, I'm not thinking about, oh, she gets all the niggas, because what did I need the niggas for? Like, but that was always kind of a thing. Like, she's jealous, she's jealous, she's jealous. And even when you present a presented argument, is she's hating on you. Hating on what? Like, and to see men of that age, it's not just him. The problem is, I'm seeing an uptick in Generation X specifically, their immaturity is really, really concerning, because now they're at the point with their grandparents. And again, it's not just him, it is that generation in general, very shallow thinking, very low vibrational thinking, the inability to think complex thoughts, and to even process yes and. So even if you believed that Indiari was jealous, which is insane, because I'm like, if you know anything about her brand, if you know anything about what she stands for, if you know anything about what she's been doing over the years, and even the areas where you can hit her in insecurity and say, oh, she might be jealous of this, the only thing that I really remember her being frustrated by is she's not getting recognition that she deserves, which that's true. And then the other thing is she's always wanted a husband and a baby, but now she has that. So I'm like, I never hear her or even get the energy of her being jealous of a light skinned person or wanting. But also, you have to remember, India.Arie is not just like a random black girl. Like, I believe her parents, her dad specifically, is a football player and stuff like that. So I'm like, you come from relative privilege. So to have someone like, she did not, I don't want to say come from, I don't really know her story like that, but like, she did not yuck it in the mud. So this is, again, not something like, oh, you're jealous because of where she's at. Well, her parents were there. So what is she jealous of? She had easier access to that lifestyle. So it was so off the mark, and it was so insane that I was like, what? But hearing that come from that generation over and over, especially if black men who become successful, and maybe I'll do a video on success is not money, success is not fame, like what real success is, because I think we look at these men and we raise them up and go, oh, they're so smart, they're so successful, and they're not. Now, I'm not shitting on him, because he did do a lot of things. Like, there's a lot of things that he, I cannot take from him. But as far as in general, like just the intellect and all this stuff, I'm like, a little spotty. So, but I guess, am I hating on him? Am I jealous of him? No. There's nothing about his life that I would want to adopt as my own. I'm concerned about that, especially coming from that generation. Again, it's not just him, and it's not just the situation. It's overall a theme that I have seen in that generation. And then they're still talking like 20-year-olds. They're still acting like 20-year-olds. And again, you are now getting into being the elders, and there is no maturity. I'm concerned about that. And also, you're inaccurate, and you also cannot see women as they are. And that's an emotional skill. That is an EQ thing. And my concern is that not so much that he's saying something I don't like him saying, I don't like the arguments that are coming back from this, which is, girl, get over yourself. If that's what we want to da 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 da. And I'm like, ooh, this is a slippery slope now. Because what she said was, music is powerful. She has been working in the industry for umpteen years. She has told us a little bit about Clive Davis and people like that. And so, ooh, girl, like, she's jealous. She don't know what she's talking about. She knows everything. And again, this is the thing in this generation, and I'm gonna spotlight my generation and then millennials as well. Like, it's like, we don't like to listen. We don't like to be told what to do, and that is a problem. That's gonna get you into a lot of trouble when you cannot take in wisdom and go, in this area, she may be right. Maybe she knows something that I don't know, having worked in the industry and knowing, all these things. And also, again, if you watch videos such as Michael Jackson, where they're talking about frequencies of the music and what they do and how they structure the chorus and, all of these things, like, this is intentionally designed to be impactful. And so, again, I don't think her voice is invalid here. But again, the rebuttal it lacks intelligence. It's not even a good rebuttal. It is a, well, girl, this is what we're going to do. And I'm like, and I see that in the environment. I see, when I go outside, I now live in a predominantly black area, but for a while I lived in a predominantly white area. I've lived in high income, low income. And I'm like, I'm watching the culture at large take in this programming and then act it out. And it doesn't always manifest as scamming. It is just like this, like, I don't care. I do see more girls going, I'm using men for money, like, and as long as they pay my bills. And again, spiritually, that's going to get you in all types of issues. But the lowering of the vibration, the lowering of intellect, and then the complete dismissal, and not dismissal because, hey, we don't agree with this and here's why, and actually this is what we're going to do, or the intellectuals of our community are agreeing with this foolishness and going, yeah, we have bigger problems. Like, this is the bigger problem. This is the bigger problem. And I don't like people shitting on a black woman, because especially when she's a dark-skinned black woman and saying that she's unattractive. She's not unattractive. She's not. And a lot of the women that you all call attractive are not attractive. They're just light-skinned. And this is the reality that you have to face within yourself. Like, when you start doing that self-work of like, what am I gravitating to? Because what you are attracted to will change when you start doing that work. But again, it's very shallow thinking, which leads me to believe that people are not looking within themselves and doing the self work. They're not thinking deeply, and I don't have to know that, see that here to know that, but it's very concerning. So, I hope this is making sense. My thing is, my opinion, it's a very ignorant song, but I'm not against ignorant songs. And I'm not against songs that don't make sense. I'm not against songs. I think art can be very creative. I think art can come in a myriad of ways. This, however, is not good. Now, I'm actually taking it from a different perspective because I don't go, well, she needs to stop. No, girl, you do what you do. What is happening in this time is a collective is now deciding. So this is where the truth will come out. This is where stuff will be revealed. This is where things kind of topple. It's when the collective energy goes, yeah, we don't fuck with that. So we're seeing this with the influencer economy where certain people who got away with doing, there's also influencers that were flourishing, and I could tell it was clearly fake for years. But people are starting to go, yeah, no, I'm not dealing with that. But it's quiet. And I read a quote that said, Gen Z is quietly rejecting this reality. And it is true, and myself included, the entertainment that I've rejected. I don't post hate mail. I don't, go blast people. I just don't tune in. There's a movie on HBO that I'm like, girl, no. And I just don't watch. There's a video of an influencer and I start seeing the energy shift. Girl, I'm not watching. Unsubscribe, block, delete, right? It's not a loud thing. Same with the job. Like, I don't go, oh my God, y'all are, no, I just, okay, I'm finna put my 2 weeks in. I'm finna go. Like, and it's the same even when you see with the alcohol thing and I see other people in my generation starting to go, yeah, this doesn't seem well, especially when we're seeing like Gen X is like very still hooked on that like alcohol culture. And so you're watching like, oh, that's a slippery slope. It's even the drugs that they're doing, the stuff they call innocent, and you're like, oh, you don't see you like I see you. And like I don't want to be you. So like I'm just not going to. And it's not a loud thing. One, because the intention is not to shame people. The intention is not to say you're worse off than me. And again, there's no in the moment it feels like there's no constructive reason to say that, so you don't say it. But you act it out by not buying the music, by not showing up to the concert, by not listening, by not engaging in the way that they want you to engage with. It is not true that if you engage with a piece of content and like as long as you're talking about me, like I still profit. That's not true. Now, on the surface level, it is, right? Because if you get paid for ads for views, but positive, negative engagement, it does not always equal positive engagement. There is a art to that. I.e. 50 Cent. Like, enough said. Like, there's an art to doing that in a way that is constructive. But the art really is the heart of you cannot be evil. And as many mistakes as that man has made, as many ways in which I do not agree with a lot of things that he does, in his soul, you can feel a lot of times like the actions, you can feel there's more behind the scenes. And so this is why people go, well, why do y'all support him? Like, I don't support him, but it's like, well, because you can feel his energy. You can go, he was protecting somebody and something happened, like, and they set him up here, or this was happening over here, or that girl's lying, so that didn't really work out like that. And of course, there's no conducive way to say it because at the time the predominant energy is very low, and so they're unable to process certain things. They're not able to, when you speak, accept certain things. And accepting does not mean you're doing what I say. Accepting is, can you hear me? Can you process? Can you hold the tension between your train of thought and your energy and my energy as well? That's a skill. That's a spiritual process, and most people just do not have that at this time. Now, some people are developing it, but a lot of people just have not developed that capacity yet. And so at that point, it's not prudent to communicate in that way because you will not be heard, and moreover, you will experience more negative consequences than positive. So this song in and of itself is damaging, yes, because of the overt message. I mean, just read the lyrics and girl, we know. But the call to action is not for her to stop. Again, we have to take up our mantle and take up our power and go, what do we stand for? What do we not? What do we know? And you have to go within yourself and go, I don't think this is something I'm going to engage with. This is not something I feel comfortable with. This is not something I want to promote. It's not about promoting it. It's also about like, do I actually like this? Does it fundamentally agree with my spirit? And if the answer is no, then you have to have the courage to say no to it, even when the collective is doing something different, or it feels like, because there's a lot of illusion in this time that is being broken. But certain people that you think are YouTubers that are just regular people are not. Certain people that you think are just regular entertainers are not. Certain people that you think are just regular people in your neighborhood are not. This is an illusion. So the way out is just to stop engaging with it. Stop engaging with it does not mean to stop talking about it. It means if you don't like the song, don't turn it on, right? If you're out somewhere and it's playing and you don't want to jam to it, don't jam to it, right? But when you do, then do. But I think India is right. This is not a good path. This is not a good wave. And I like that she's giving like, hey, here's our little warning, because it seems like the whole world is going, this foolishness is what we like, and this foolishness is beneficial, and everything that Carisha specifically stands for, even who she's behind, like some things I can't even listen to her with because of who's behind her. um Everything is like against my spirit. Like I'm like, but it's also not enticing, right? When Trick Daddy goes, you wish you were, to me, she does not look that attractive. She's not ugly, but I'm like, the surgery, the BBLs, the posturing of the body, like that does not look attractive to me. I did not say she was not attractive to anyone else. I did not say, compare her to me. I said, to me, this is not attractive. So because that's not something that I want to engage with, I don't. Um, I hope this makes sense. I'm not sure if I'll post this because I'm not sure this is a complete thought, but I did feel to come on here and say these things, and hopefully that it will provide some kind of community where you can go, hey, I knew I wasn't crazy. Like, here's someone else who is saying kind of what I was feeling. And I guess that's my intention in this video. If you're interested in seeing more videos, I talk about all sorts of things. But you can support me in my Patreon. I have the information about what you receive down there. I strive to provide value to you. So feel free to check that out, and feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.